There was spirit.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was spirit
in our cooking show today. We will learn about Hachapuri. My bad joke.
Hachapuri. Do you have it in United States? Hachapuri no? Wow. You should bring it. I think you can make a good business there. It's quite tasty thing.
They can't even spell kebab right in the U.S. I don't. And really, a kebab is a euro or a gyro. But,
euro. But my wife's Greek. Yeah, she will correct that. Euro.
But by the way, talking about food, Jared, how was food in Afghanistan? You were in Afghanistan?
Iraq.
Oh no, sorry, in Iraq.
Yeah,
Iraq.
I was in Iraq. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, never.
How was the food there? Did you? What did you have a kitchen that cooked for you, or you had this food delivered from planes? How did it look like?
We had people that would cook it for us. There was a mixture of soldiers and I would say government contracted employees, and so it would be some of our soldiers would work, and then of course we had government contracted employees, and they would cook for us. And so every day we would have 3 meals, breakfast, lunch. Sometimes I ate all 3 meals a day, and then there's times I missed them because I was on convoys, and had to eat MRE food. But other than that, no, yeah, people cook for us. I mean, it would be shipped in, of course, or trucked in the food, but there's always people to prepare it, if that makes sense. We had like a dining facility, and every FOB or whatever that I was at, there was a place to eat, like a mess hall for soldiers to gather.
Oh, nice. But when you went on mission, you took food with you?
Yeah, food like MRE, like just, the MREs, meals that are ready to eat.
Yeah, you put water, boil it. Yeah. We had it, but we didn't have Americans. We had I think it was Norwegians. Very tasty. But we had only a few of them. We ate like first 2 days probably all this, and then we get to Ukrainians. Ukrainians were awful. We had some Russians, by the way, food camps. It was good. It was better than ours. we ate them too. Yeah, but food was problem. I mean, not problem. For me, it was problem because my stomach is not that good. It was strange because they called everyone. I mean, every age. There was one guy. He was 59 years of age. With us, he said, I don't know why they called me, and especially they called them to become a assault team, right? So he had to wear bulletproof chest with gun and everything. It's like extra 50 kilos. 50 kilos is how many? Like 100 pounds.
100 pounds, yeah.
Or even more.
Pounds of gear. Wow, yeah.
Yes, and this poor guy had to carry it, but later on they sent him back. So I was among different ages. I'm 42 now, almost 43, and there were young people, and also there were old people. I don't know why they called old people, because it was, for me, it was quite hard to bear all this physical activity. It was challenging. Plus, we didn't have proper food. We had to cook for ourselves. When we were on training, not far from cities like Kramatorsk or Chernivtsi, we could go to supermarkets or something to buy. But then we were in places far away from civilization. That was challenging.
I would imagine so. Yes.
Yeah, but it's good. I lost some weight. 2 kilos is not bad.
I always joke that I need to go back to war because maybe it helped me lose weight, because when I was in the Army, I had no problems with it until I got out. So
yeah.
But I don't know if the mind can handle any more war. My mind, anyways. But
yes, it's very difficult psychologically. I don't know how about you, but honestly, I'm not a hero. I was very scared when they sent us there. And on this mission, especially, I had only 3 combat missions actually, because after at the end of third one, I was injured, and that's it. My career as an assault soldier ended. The very first one was very scary for me. We convoyed fuel tanks, like a big car with gasoline behind it.
Right.
So how it was? It was at the beginning. It was what you call MRAP, yeah, like machine with the convoy. Like 5 of us were sitting there, and we moved to place near the border. And then the guy who knew the where to go, yeah, he joined us, and in this MRAP machine there were no more place, so I had to go back and sit in this car with kerosene. We had 2 cars with kerosene and diesel.
Right.
So that was really scary, because you're driving, behind you is like a few tons of kerosene, and it's not even a rocket or anything, any bullet. Ricky.
What happened?
Yeah, you hear me? Okay, good.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So any moment they can shoot, and it can blow up and burn. So yeah, that was very scary for me. But thank goodness nothing happened. So we came to this point. It was somewhere in the forest. At night we refueled tanks. That's interesting, by the way. In America, do you have tanks that run on kerosene?
What, here in America?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Ours are all on jet fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most of ours. For me,
Yes.
I've been out for a good while now. The Army. I retired back in 2008 when I took a medical. I was messed up in Iraq too, and so I know when I was fueling, because I was a fueler in Army. One of my jobs was petroleum supply specialist, and a lot of our vehicles then they were fueled by JPA. It was like a jet fuel, so what they were using then. Now I maybe they still use it now. I don't know. I haven't really kept up with the Army, so it's been a good while for me. So I don't really keep up with I used to.
Got it. So we had this, I think it's T-80 tank, which has engine from helicopter inside. That's why on kerosene. And the other one, T-72, is on diesel. So we had to take two vehicles to supply them. Yeah, that was very scary. The second mission for me was quite easy. I was on the border with between Russia and Ukraine, and we had kind of like a list. We were checking which damaged cars, vehicles are getting back. So we had to check, like, okay, this is tank is going back. We might check, okay, this is let's say artillery is broken. Okay, we did check. So I was just sitting and doing these notes, and there were 3 of us. We changed, like, every 3 hours. We changed 3 hours. I was on the post, and then other 6 hours to other guys, 3 and 3. So it wasn't. I mean, it was a little bit scary, of course, but it was pretty much safe there. And the third one was very dangerous. We get to Suja, to the little town inside Russia, and there were 5 of us, 3 drone guys. They what they did, they had FPVs, these drones that attack anything, people, soldiers, yeah. But they you saw probably a lot of videos. But these guys, they had this equipment to work at day. So they work at day during the daylight, and they were sleeping at night. And because we were on enemy territory, we couldn't all sleep, right? So there were 2 of us, me and my colleague. We we protected them during the night. So we also changed 3 hours, 3 after 3, and we were just sitting and listening, watching what's going on there. That was a little bit scary too, because we were on Russian's territory. There were some local guys. We didn't talk with them. They didn't talk with us, but they looked at us suspiciously. We also didn't trust them. So you could expect anything. But it was quite good until the very last day. It was 5th day. Yeah, we were about to leave this place already. And after the I'm getting to the story how I was injured. After the night, in the morning, when these guys woke up, drones, they started to do their job. And me and my guy with whom we came to take rest, to sleep. He came to sleep on the first floor, and there was a mansion, 2-floor house, and I went to sleep on the second floor because it was better. I could see better from the second floor what's going on. I could see all the street from one side to another, and from the other side I could see what is on the back door. I don't know, I feel safer when I'm not somewhere deep underground. I feel safer when I can see from where danger can come. So I came there, I looked, everything was quiet, and I went to sleep. The next moment, I remember I didn't hear how the drone hit us. Later on, guys told me that the drone, it hit us I think it was local guys who told. Because the drone, it hit exactly to the place where all our equipment was. All drones, all computers, everything was in the corridor, and it hit right there. And the bad thing, we also had, we call them lighters. Of course, the drone, they could be equipped with explosive, it explodes. It could also be equipped with a, how we call it, penetration. It's like when you hit armor, it burns, it's through and explodes. They used it on tanks, this ammunition.
Armor piercing.
Armor piercing, yes. And the third one, they what they called lighter. It was like a volume with some liquid inside. It didn't explode, it just burned, but it burned very, very fast. They used to get people out.
Are the Russians using like white fox, maybe?
I don't know what is inside. It burns very fast, and we had a few of them to get people out from their trenches. And this drone just hit inside where it was kept, and the fire broke very fast. Again, I didn't hear explosion. Maybe there was no explosion. Maybe it just started to burn. What I heard though is how the guys were screaming on the first floor that we got drone, something like this. But the very first moment when I woke up, I thought that we are being attacked. So I took my Kalashnikov and ran to the window and started to look at what's going on there. One window, another window, and then I start to realize that it's not we've been attacked. It's the fire, because the fire on the first floor was, I think in a minute it was already like first floor couldn't be accessible because of this ammunition. It started to burn very fast. So I understood that I need to get out from there. I came to window again. I hit with my Kalashnikov the window, broke it, throw Kalashnikov outside, then go over the window, and I camped on the wall like a Spider-Man. And I looked down. It was quite high. It was, I think it was like 5 meters, maybe 4 or 5 meters, which is 15 feet, something like this. So I understood that I need to jump, but I looked on my right and left, and on my left side there was a satellite antenna. and it was attached to the house with a bar or something. So my idea was to jump to this bar, grab it, hang, and jump down. So I can say like 1 or 2 meters of altitude. What I did, but it was quite far, so I couldn't reach it. I had to release my hand and jump. So I released the jump, I grabbed this bar, but the problem is it was very squeezy. I grabbed it and by inertia, I moved forward and let it go. So I started to fall down on my back. And I understood that it's not good to fall down on your back because you can get serious injury. I was like a cat in the air, how they jump. Somehow I managed to rotate myself to fall down, not on my back, but on my side, on my right side. And people, they when they see danger, they instantly move hand forward. Even if they got shot, you cannot stop bullet with your hand, but still they do it instantly to cover their face with the hand. So this is what I did. I was falling down and I put my left hand forward, and with all weight of my body, I hit my left hand, and that's how I broke it. Okay. But I was so scared. I was so excited. I didn't feel that I broke anything. I just got up immediately, took my Kalashnikov, and found my people on the other side of the house. And what we did, we started to get out ammunition from a burning house because we had a lot of explosions. If it detonated, I think we wouldn't talk now. And with my broken arm, it is very heavy. By the way, we took all these boxes with the grenades and explosives.
Oh, you're there, right? You're there, right? It froze for me. I think it froze for Sergei. 1 second. It's funky. Well.
Oh, hello.
There
yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
there was secret information there.
No, not yet. We didn't come to secret information yet. So 2 guys were injured a little bit. They got like a shrapnel under their skin. So they were taken to hospital. They said, go with us. With my hand, I said, no problem. My hand is okay. It's going to hurt a little bit and then everything going to be fine. But they forced me to go. So we went to one place. They put me something like, I don't know, it was like a plastic or what, that hold my hand so I could move it.
A cast. It's a cast.
Right.
Yeah.
Cast. So they put me there. Then they wrote all the papers. My God, you die, but you still have to sign papers. This is so horrible in army. This is what I hate most about army. It came from Soviet time.
Right.
You have to sign 1,000 papers. It's amazing. So with these papers, they moved me to Sumy, to hospital, and there they made X-ray, and they found that I broke my two bones. I don't know how to call them in English, but these 2 bones that they come to wrist. So, yeah, and then they took this temporary thing, then put, how do you call it in English? They like a stone. When you broke something, they put
wristband thing or whatever, but I get what you
Yeah, then it goes scratchy. You put something inside to scratch your hand.
Yep.
Yes, so they did this thing to my hand, and that's it. This is my experience, combat experience ended on this. And after this, by the way, I thought when you broke your bone, it's something like 1 month and that's it, you're good to go. But no, it's quite a serious injury. It took me how many, like 2 months.
Yeah.
Gypsum. Yeah, that's the thing.
Gypsum?
Gypsum, yeah. Well, when you broke your hand or leg, they put it on your
Right.
so to keep it, not to move it. So yeah, then they took me to the hospital. I was there like for 3 or 4 days. Then they said, okay, we don't need to keep you anymore. By the way, in hospital, that was probably the most scary experience in my life, because I saw all these young guys without leg and arm. Oh, that was tough, seriously, to see all this. And they were injured also physically and psychologically. Some of them, that's interesting, by the way, how people react. Some of them, they were very talkative. You couldn't stop them. They talk this, and then they ask you, told their story. Others, vice versa. They didn't talk. They just sit, look at one, at something, at one dot, and that's it. Unfortunately, some of them were drinking a lot.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And in hospital and in army, yeah, but I don't blame them, because it's very hard psychologically to bear all this.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
we have the same thing right here in America. It's the guys come back from war. It's, it's like society even here in America just shuts them out. A lot of guys, they'll come back, just can't come back because there's no support for them. Does that make sense? Kind of like what you're saying. And so you do feel bad for them because you know what they're going through. And when somebody doesn't have help, they're going to drift further away without the help, without support. So it's sad to see that happen to a lot of guys.
Especially young guys, like 20 years, 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, this experience in hospital was probably the worst one. I don't want to go there anymore.
Yeah.
And that's it. After this, till now, I had my medic vacation, or I don't know how you call it. So they just deal with my hand. Also, I kind of broke my back because to wear all this ammunition on you, and not just to walk, you have to run, you have to jump, and all this. This is not good for your spine. So I have problem with spine now.
It's definitely going to catch up to you. I can tell you that. Well, I'm 43, but my war was 20 years ago, right? And I'm now feeling the effects of what I body. Like I wake up every day just in pain. My whole body just aches because of from all that pushing I did while I was in the army. And you were talking about an extra 100 pounds of gear. Well, yeah, we had the same thing. They gave us so much gear to carry around, to lug around, and jumping off Humvees, things like that. Like how you described too, is it tears that body down. Like you don't realize it until you get older. With you, I mean, you're older.
Yes.
But, it'll probably creep in a little sooner for you as you get used to being out of the military. Does that make sense? It's gonna catch up. Yeah.
Yes, that's the thing. When you're young, you don't care. You just jump. Okay, it hurts 1 day, 2 days. That's it. Then you're good to go again. But like after 40, it starts to go out. You don't do anything bad, but it hurts. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it is true, man.
Well, what else? I met a lot of great people in army.
Absolutely. Yeah, you make a lot of good friendships. Yes. They last a lifetime. Meet a lot of good people. It's like that everywhere. That's the beauty thing about the military. I feel like it doesn't matter what country. It's that brotherhood, the sisterhood. Get with serving with people. It's I understand. I miss my own service at times. I don't miss the bullshit, but I miss the people serve with. If that makes sense. The friends I had made and the trust you'd built. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yes, because everything is quite simple on war. You just have to survive. It's not like in peaceful life. You have to make decision. You have to choose this and that. You don't know if it's right or wrong. Here on war, everything is simple. It's just that you survive and you do your job and you survive. There is no in between. There are good guys, there are bad guys, and that's it. It's good part about war, but I don't know. War is horrible. I hope it will end soon.
Yeah, no, I pray it does. I don't like war, so but when I say I don't like war, what I mean is I don't like what it causes. But your country has a right to defend itself because you were invaded, right? And so
yes, we didn't have choice.
What you're doing is what any country would do if they're invaded by another country. And so, I have a lot of respect, right? So a lot of respect. And so, that's why I'm doing this, to learn more. I want to know more. Like I'm seeking the truth, not just, it's like I said, I go to church with different cultures, and and it's like having that respect for all cultures and understanding everybody's way of life is so important. So thank you for sharing with me. Like, honestly, thank you for sharing all this with me, because it's just, I love listening to your story right now. Like, it's inspiring, man. It really is. It's the whole world should be able to hear what you guys are going through, and hear what's on the front line, and that's what you're bringing right now. It's beautiful. You're
no, my story is it's just drop from the ocean. There are much more things.
No, there is.
By the way, I forgot to tell another story. When I was on my second mission to check these broken cars that were taken back, we had radio with us, and on this radio I could hear how the guys, they storming positions, and it was also quite hard experience. During it was like daytime. There were radio conversation. There were 3 groups. The third one was covering, and 2 other groups, first and second, they were advancing. And the second group were lucky. They got their position and hold it. But the first one, they got unlucky because they got kind of ambush or something. They moved to their positions and they didn't have time to settle it, like to dig holes. And they got under crossfire. And I heard how one guy was killed right away. The other guy, the grenade, I think, or something, or drone maybe exploded, and he lost his legs. And I heard on radio how he was screaming, "Help me, help me!" And after that, he died because he lost a lot of blood. But the thing is, well, I'm not military man. Yeah, I became military in 2023. What I was shocked is how commanders are giving orders. Later on, I realized that maybe it's the right decision, because if you start to cry for each and everyone, you're just gonna lose you won't be able to command people. They were very strict. They say, "Shut up! Don't cry! Do your job! Do your task! Don't hesitate!" And people were crying like, "I cannot do. There are one is injured, the other one is dead. Please help me." He said, "Shut up! Just do what you need to do. Help is coming." Oh, it was also unusual, unnatural, but this is war. War is unnatural.
Yeah.
This conversation I will never forget. That was something unbelievable for me. As I know, they later on they occupied this position, but two people died. It happened like for 2 or 3 hours.
Wow.
Yep. Hello.
Yeah. Or
it probably it froze again. Yeah.
Must be. Well, secret things being revealed. I think it's either he gets a phone call and it interrupts, or okay, so he's somewhat back. But I was gonna say, I think it's either a phone call gets to his phone, or just the internet's a little off from the data. And that, but there was a siren thing going on. 1 second. Maybe look at Telegram for a second, because
Hello.
Yeah. And that, are you getting a call in there or no?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, I hear you.
Here.
We hear you.
We hear you.
I hear you. Okay. Let me see. I just sent a message on Telegram. And nice.
Hello, hello.
Yeah. Yep. Are you
Uh-huh.
getting, or is it
Sorry,
just
it's
bad internet? Is
I
it
think
the
it's internet because now we have air alert and they probably shutting down electricity now. And
well, funny.
right.
The electricity is fine for me, but I don't
Mhm.
know.
It's not necessarily your place. They shutting down some districts where they probably think that they're gonna be hit, and they shut down it beforehand, so it wouldn't be so devastating.
For me, it's really strange. I think where I live, it's in line with most of Ivano-Frankivsk, the city, because when power goes out, Ivano-Frankivsk goes out. But they haven't shut the power off in almost like 6 or 8 days. Maybe it's 10, ever since Christmas.
Same here, yeah.
Well, 25th, the power went out for like an hour or two, and then it just went back on Christmas. And they haven't been cutting power or anything. But I don't know. It's a little bit funny because I'm in a non-important city. I think they actually give some power off more than they should. Because like there's a few days with the blackouts. There's a few days they say there will be a blackout and then there is none. And because I pay attention to the Ivano-Frankivsk and Kalush thing, they'll say that there will be one, then there is none. Which is fun. And that like someone changed their minds at the last minute. But well, I don't know. It's just like that. The one thing too, I did tell Jared, which was always, it's the hot topic one, which was the conscription thing. I told him that you didn't necessarily get forced, but yet you kind of did, but it was not like they drag you out. You just kind of held them off for a year and then they said, okay, now you got to do it. But and you were doing the translating in Odessa. I told him that if you want to explain
I guess
that.
really for my question is, and this is like why I do what I do, is because I've seen videos of them dragging people.
Yes.
And so, that for me, I just want to hear from somebody like you, right? It's, the media can put whatever they want out, and I realize all that. You see videos, but in the back of my mind, I said, there's always more to what you're seeing. Does that make sense? Like a 10-second video or a 30-second video, to me, is not always true. Like it's like they people make you see what you want to see. Does that make sense? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, it's going to be my opinion. It's not like official or anything. From my point of view, the problem is there are a lot of Soviet system in Ukraine. Though Soviet Union collapsed 30 years ago, there are so much this Soviet shit in our country, and including this one. Unfortunately, they didn't manage to deal with people. If they offered people good money, I know people come to fight because they fight for justice, but still, it doesn't mean they have to fight for free, right? They have to be paid good. So good money, if they were supplied goods, so they knew if something happened to them, if they died or get injured, that their family of them, they will get support and help here. If they see also that this war is fair, it's not only for poor people that don't have money to pay bribe to get away. That not only poor people are fighting, also rich people, also sons of governors and deputies and all people. I think that would be completely other story. But I don't know whom to blame. If it's Zelensky and his power or somebody else, they didn't manage to build up a system that in which people wouldn't have to be pushed to fight. In the system, they were guaranteed that they're not gonna be forgotten. They're not gonna be left alone after they've been used. Like a hot dog. They use it and then you throw away. This is what they do to people here. They use it on the war. Then they get injured and then they cannot get money for their injury. They have to prove. Like with me, when this happened with me, my injury, all my stuff was burned there. What saved? Only Kalashnikov. My uniform, all my equipment that was there, everything burned. I bought night vision for me for like $100. I used it for 2 weeks and it burned there.
Oh.
Almost new one there. That's very sad. My cell phone, everything. Okay, it happened. It's war. But the thing is, now I have to prove that it happened on war, and it looks like I just can't. They told me that it will take like 2 or 3 months, and now I want to be transferred from Odessa to my city Lviv, and I want to do it as soon as possible. And I don't have time to prove that these things were burnt in war. So it looks like I'll have to buy everything, buy my uniform, and pay them for burnt things. This is also Soviet legacy. So why is this happening? I hate that this is happening in my country, but unfortunately it is happening. And it is happening not because people think this war is unfair. It's happening that because they cannot organize everything good. Unfortunately, like Russian did. I hate Russian, this system, Putin system, but I have to admit they did right. With money they pay, they got enough people to send to war. Why don't we do the same? Why don't we pay money here? We do have money. Ask Ricky what kind of cars he saw on the streets, all these Teslas and Jaguars and Ferraris. People do have money. Unfortunately, this money are not Americans give us a lot of money.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. And it's like, to me, I want to going right. It's like, as a taxpayer, an American, it's like, it should be going to you, right? Soldiers, right? That's where I think if we're going to send it, it should go to better your equipment, better your food, right? your
salary. Yes, exactly.
If that money was going to that, I would be like, exactly, that's what it should go to. But if it's going to the bureaucrats, like it does right here, I don't like it. That's not right. So no,
definitely,
an interesting point. Very good point.
And yes, and now I heard that Trump wants to make some mission or something to investigate where money are going in Ukraine, and I absolutely agree with this. Some governors are crying here. Why should Americans get inside our businesses? This is our businesses, but they're afraid because there are a lot of corruption there. I absolutely agree. Let Americans, whoever come, Europeans, and check how we spend their money, because it's your money. You have right to know how we spend them. This is a very good idea. I hope it will come true.
Yeah, dude, me too.
Yes. So as for this, I heard from news that they are fighting with corruption. They want to change how they call people on war, but unfortunately, we lost a lot of time. It should be done the first days the war started, not after 3 years. But yes, it's true. As for me, how I was getting to army, well, I didn't want to go to army, honestly. I told you I was scared. But I also didn't want to hide because, I wouldn't respect myself, if I were hiding somewhere. So what I did, I didn't go as a volunteer to war, but I also wasn't hiding. And once I was going home, and at that time, these guys, they didn't catch people. They didn't force them. They just gave pieces of paper with which you had to go to some place and register yourself. So they approached me, asked my phone, my name, everything, wrote me this piece of paper and said, tomorrow at this time you should come and check. So I came there. They asked my again. They asked my my name, all my data, when I was born, where I studied, and everything. And after this, it was August 2022. And after this, they called me like every week or every 2 weeks, just to check if I didn't go anywhere, if I still on my place. And it lasted all winter till May. In May, they called me and said, "Okay, Sergei, now it's your time. We will call you to army." And that's it. Since May, they took me to Odessa for 2 months. Yeah, for 2 months I was training. I had trainings, like basic training, shooting, throwing grenades, digging holes, also some theory, strategy, whatever. Plus we had specialized, because when I studied in university, I had military, how to say, military education. I was trained as a logist to serve in logistics. So we also were trained how to deal with cars and vehicles. The training was okay, actually. I don't know. People were complaining that they not get trained. It's because people are lazy. You know, the guys who trained us, yeah, seriously, they didn't force us.
No, I know.
They just come and told to us straightforward, "You're not at school. We're not gonna force you. If you want to be lazy and do nothing, it's up to you. But on the war, you will be first who will die, because it's in your interest to." Yeah, they were quite straightforward. They told us it's in your interest to study, because this increases the chances to survive.
Yeah.
And yes, I was studying that, especially, by the way, medicine. This is what I really studied hard. I always was volunteered to let me try. I wanna try this and that. Yeah, this tactical medicine I studied very hard. And that's it. But these guys, they noticed that I know English, and they called me to kind of like headquarters job. Ricky told already. Yeah, I was in Odessa Academy. I was translating manuals because there are a lot of equipment from United States, and I was translating manuals for Oshkosh trucks. I don't know. You should deal with them, right? If you refuel tanks, I think Oshkosh. Yeah, this is tankers. Or you remember which ones you used?
Oh, me. The only fueling I did was when I was stationed in Korea and Seoul, South Korea, before I went to Iraq. When I went to Iraq, I went with the Texas Army National Guard when I went to Iraq, and I never did any fueling. I actually ended up doing convoy security. So what fueling I really did, it was very little. And so I didn't really do my job a whole lot when I was in the military. It was, you know, the units I always got stuck in, I did very, very fueling. When I was in Korea, I was stuck in a motor pool. So I ended up most of my time working on Humvees for this unit I was in.
Yes.
Little fueling.
Good car.
And what fueling I did do, it was like a little, I would say a little truck with, I don't know, a few hundred gallons of fuel on the back. And that's what I would use when we go to the field. But this
truck, was it Oshkosh truck? You remember?
Probably something like that. Yeah, it was kind of like, you know, kind of like what you're saying. Yeah, it wasn't very big. Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't do like a lot of guys I know. They did bigger things, and they drove the bigger tankers. I would say I never, you know, only in training I operate on that stuff. Only in training. So, yeah.
So I was translating manuals for these cars for Oshkosh. They you can recognize them quite easily because they have specific cabin. It's not the box size. It's more like diamond size, I would say. It doesn't have vertical walls. It has like with an angle, so the to resist the bullets.
Right.
So yeah, this is what I was doing for like 1 year, but then yes, one day the guy came to us and said,
One
okay,
second, I'll be back.
Yes,
I'll be
he
back.
gathered like 10 people from academy, from our department where we were studying, and say, okay, guys, tomorrow 8 a.m. you got to be ready. We will send you to war to get combat experience, as he said. And this is how I get to war.
No, I know
Yeah,
that. I know that Ukraine. I know that you guys have been very successful with drones hitting Russian targets within Russia. It's pretty exciting stuff.
Oh yes, I think that's the future. That's the future of not only flying drones, by the way. Now I think it's gonna be these driving drones.
Wow.
Which will they can shoot, they can bring supplies, they can put mines, they can dig out mines. So I think that's the next step. And yes, drones too.
It's given Ukraine a lot of leverage. The more that I've seen, the more success you're getting at that. That's the new warfare, this drone warfare. For me, a foreign military, I think it's exciting to watch how battlefields evolve, man. It's kind of like, you go from one end, and then all of a sudden, as you get older, you see how things evolve. And it's like, in a way, it could save lives, but then simultaneously create more casualty. Does that make sense? It's like, for one side, it could save lives, and then inflict mass chaos on another side. It's interesting to watch how warfare evolves, man. It's the quick strikes, and it's interesting. It really is.
Yes, I think your generals in America, they watch it now, and they're pretty much thinking now how they should adjust your army. I mean, how to implement it in your army, these drones, because this is future.
No, it's
Israelis, they already doing this. As for drones, unfortunately, yes, at the beginning especially, we had advantage, but Russians, they learn very fast. Now they have advantage in quantity. They produce more drones and they do more drones. What they don't have is they're not so skillful, so they lose a lot of drones just for nothing.
They get a lot from Iran too, if I'm not mistaken. They're getting some of them from Iran. Is that right? I've heard they
yes, they got from Iran these Shahed drones. It's a huge flying wing. But as for little drones, that FPVs and Mavericks, not Mavericks, Mavics. These ones. Yeah, these ones they produce on their territory, their own. They make huge factories. So yes, I'm still surprised how we still withdraw, because Russia is much bigger than us. It's more people, more economy, more weapon, much more weapon, and they still cannot. They occupied only like 20% of Ukraine, and this is amazing. But we pay very pricely cost for this. Very pricey.
No, it's, that's where maybe Russia underestimated maybe the fight Ukraine has. Sounds like to me Russia may have underestimated the fight that's within Ukraine. Does that make sense? It's Russia is a bigger country, but then again, it's the will to survive too. Just think about it. A person who has the will to survive is going to find a way to survive, regardless of the odds that it's against. So,
yes, all this is example from animal life. All these small animals like rats, mice, or snakes, as soon as they hear humans, they're trying to hide, they're trying to run away, and they never attack. They attack only in one condition if they have nowhere to run. If they see that they have nowhere to run, then even this small rat or mouse, they can jump on human. This is like Ukraine. We have nowhere to run. We know if we're not gonna fight now, they just come and kill us.
Yeah.
How they did in Bucha, in Kherson, they just come and kill civilian people because they pro-Ukrainian. They bring them to basement and shoot them. So it's either we fight or we die.
Yeah, no,
This is how it is.
yeah. Yeah.
But
Once again, thank you for sharing. Really,
welcome.
seriously.
Well,
you know,
yeah.
I hope to have many more conversations with you in the future. You know, I really do, because it's just your perspective. It's amazing. Really.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Whatever you're interested in, you can ask. I'm not that big fighter, you know. There are people who fighting since 2022. They can tell stories and stories. And when I lived with them, I heard stories from them. Yeah. By the way, you want some creepy story? We were living in with a guy who, yeah, he was fighting from the very beginning, and yeah, he also had problem with alcohol, but he was more or less disciplined. He drank a lot, but when it was time to go to mission, he didn't drink, like 2 days before, nothing. And I asked him, like, do you remember your first mission? He said, I remember it very well. He was in the, we call it a fire support squad. For example, if artillery goes to position, so they work, and this fire support squad, they sit around and just look that nobody approach them. So they like kind of like guard them. So once it was his first mission, the artillery guys moved forward, and they were like behind them, 150 meters away from them, protecting them from enemies. And somehow they recognized, they find out where they moved, and Russians attacked them with artillery, and they like destroyed everything. He said not even bodies left, so it was everything smashed by pieces, and only this squad support left. And he connected with his commanders and say, okay, the artillery guys, they get smashed, nothing left, so what shall we do? There is no more to protect. And the commander ordered him, go to this position and take DNA samples because without these DNA samples, these people gonna be considered as lost. And if someone is lost, you don't get paid. You only get paid if you proved that the guy died or get injured on war. So they had to collect DNA samples. So he and his partner, they took knives, go to this position and start to cut ears, fingers, whatever, like any DNA sample, collected it to the back and moved back. And he said it's already like 3 years he's fighting. He's till now when he sleeps, he sees all this in his dreams. Yeah, that's something horrible.
No, I know. Yes, it's it's something that ravages the brain. It's like a parasite. It really is. It's war is immoral. I mean, I say it's immoral. I mean, we have to do immoral things in order to survive in war. Does that make sense? It's
yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's one thing I think people must understand about war, and I think you and I can agree that regardless of how you're there, how you got there, it's either you kill or you're going to be killed. It's that the way.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's like I think a lot of
and
you and I understand.
In order to survive, people gonna do nasty things. Even I don't know what I'm up to in order to survive. If I want it for 2 days, 3 days, I can eat everything. And I heard stories how they drink water from ground. They ate birds and rats and everything in order to survive because they didn't have food. Oh yeah, people do nasty things on war.
You know, when I was in Iraq, the first time I got shot at, I took a Sharpie and I wrote on my heat shield,
Mm-hmm.
because I was a gunner, and I wrote either you kill or be killed. I wrote that with a Sharpie to remind myself each and every day,
Mm-hmm.
like either I got to kill or I'm going to be killed. I mean, there's no, if I want to go home, I have to do the mission and do the mission to the fullest with all different.
Yes.
Like I can't worry about differences or anything.
Mm-hmm.
The mission forward,
More.
our left and right. It's the most important thing. Get each other home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go
Moreover, it's not only about you.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not okay, but you get injured, you die. But how would you feel if because of your failure, your brother dies, who is next to you? This is awful. And some people they did mistakes because of which their brothers died. And this is also you live all your life with this. I don't know. Maybe I would choose rather die myself than someone would die because of me.
Right.
So yeah, on war there are a lot of these how you call it dilemmas, these questions you have to take to answer, and so yeah, that's hard.
It is hard, man. I live with my stuff every day as well. I don't talk a lot about my experiences in Iraq. I'm one of those guys. I'm more of a quiet guy. I like hearing other people's stories more than hearing my own because it's, for me, I want to learn from other people because I'm thinking about going into counseling to help people with traumatic experiences because I deal with it myself. And so listening to your story is going to help me down the road as I move in my journey. And so there's a purpose for everything that I do. And it's listening to you, giving you the floor. That's what I've done is basically let you tell your perspective from the way you're seeing it. Does that make sense? So you have shown me more perspective about Ukraine than I could probably ever get. Because your perspective is so important because you're there, you've lived there, it's your country. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I witnessed it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter other people's opinion, mine or here in the US. I want to hear from people like you because that's where truth lies. It's within the people who are experiencing it. Not my mainstream media, not my bureaucrats who waste my money every day. They lie. They're always lying to me. I know they lie.
Yes, just to get more money. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, me too. By the way, I noticed that people who were on the war, like seriously, because honestly, I don't consider myself like soldier. It was like three combat missions I was on, and that's it. But those people who were really in the war, yeah, they don't talk much. The only time they talk much is when they got drunk. Then they start to talk things about war, and sometimes you don't want to listen it. I mean, you have to be prepared, not to listen all these stories because it's really scary.
Oh, I know. We all get a little descriptive when we're drunk. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I know from my own past experiences. So I don't drink anymore. It's poison.
Yeah, me too, by the way.
It never did me well. It always got me in trouble. So with my trouble. But
yeah, I think it's gonna be a big problem for Ukraine when these people gonna come back. It's good if they, no doubt they're gonna be heroes in peaceful life. Yeah, everybody gonna respect them. But will they be able to adapt to peaceful life? Well, that's a big question. And how many of them gonna be? Because it also depends on your personality. War, it reveals your personality. Some people they just drop weapon and lay down, start to cry, to yield. No, I'm not gonna fight. I cannot. I'm scared. And you know what? I don't blame them. I really don't blame them. I understand them because it's really scary. Other people, they vice versa. They like it. They feel themselves in right position. They do fight. They like to live on the edge. So yeah, this is you never can tell how you or somebody else gonna behave on war. They could be very brave on trainings, they know everything, but as soon as they get to real war, they broke, and that's it. There was one guy, I didn't meet him personally, but the guys who trained us, they told story. He was volunteer, he came, he said, I want to fight, I want to kill Russian bastards. And the very first mission, he said, no, I cannot do this. He said it's too much.
Yeah. No,
so that's not for everyone. And I don't know if you can train someone to be ready for war. I think no. It has to be something inside, this instinct of predator, or I don't know. And I think most people they not ready for this.
No, I think it's hard to train for war. I mean, you could train for war like the tactics and all that, but what can't be, I guess, trained or is the experience that your mind's going to go through. I don't think that any military has an answer, because that's one thing that's never talked about, is what your mind's going to do when it's all over.
Yes.
Yeah. And that is where I think PTSD, or whatever you want to call it, is so much deeper than we think. I think war is something on a person's brain that can destroy it, man. I mean, there's only one in this world that can destroy us faster than anything. It's our own mind. Your mind can destroy you faster than anything. I mean, you can eat like junk, you can get fat, you can do all those things, but in reality, your mind's what's going to kill you faster than food or anything else you're going to do. Because if you let your mind think that life is over, you're going to live like life's over. Yeah, it's interesting. So I want to learn more about this.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I that's why I know that what Ukraine's going to go through, when all this is over, and everything ends, every war ends. But what doesn't end is the war that's inside of a person. That's something that never ends. War, the physicality, the dying, of course, that will end. But the war within your mind, it's never going to end. It's always going to be part of you. Does that make sense? You're going to always, for you and everybody, it's always going to be a sense of that war is going to linger with you. You know, no matter what you do, somebody else. I mean, I know a lot of guys who've seen so much far worse stuff than I could ever imagine. And I've been to Iraq, and, you know, so it affects everybody differently. And, you know, I have a lot of buddies they're still fighting the mind. You know, I feel like I'm healing more now than I have, but I got buddies who aren't, you know, they're just not, they're still battling the mind. The mind is trying to beat them.
Well, it's because big stress for and it's not natural, you know. In regular life, you don't expect to be killed any second, right? And here on war, you know that you could be killed any second, and you could be the fastest, the smartest. Still, it doesn't guarantee you're going to survive. And maybe this is what people broke them. They see death. They smell this death right next to them. And this is what unusual for us. Because I'm sure that we still deep inside, we don't believe in death. I don't know. Personally, I know that I'm gonna die, but I don't believe it. I think that I'm gonna live forever.
And, I think we all think that, you know, it's like, I'm gonna keep
young forever. But on the war, you feel it. You feel this, the death is near you, and that's it. It could end right now. And this is what maybe people, some of them, they can accept it, and some of them, they cannot accept it. And I don't know. This is something I still don't have answer for myself.
I always joke that death runs from me, because being in Iraq and then after Iraq, I was in a very bad car accident when I was working for my dad, and it was in 2013. It was actually my son's birthday in 2013, and I was running local routes, and the back tire of the route truck I had flew out. It was raining, and I probably rolled that truck. I don't remember how much it rolled, but it came, and when it stopped, it was up on all four tires. And the cab that I was sitting in was not crushed, but the back end of the truck was completely crushed. And when they came to get me, they said, we have no idea how you survived this. And I made a joke then. I said, I guess death runs from me. And then, so that's my little saying. I was making the first responders laugh. I said, I guess death is even afraid of me. I said, I just can't die.
Yeah.
But little joke, death runs from me. But
yeah, that's a good point. By the way, the other thing I noticed is how people behave on the war. Some of them, they crying, they always, why I'm here, why did they take me? But there were some other guys, great guys, they in this horrible situation, they still managed to joke somehow, to tell stories, to tell jokes. This is amazing. This is what really braveness is. It's not when you have no fear. Everybody has fear, but it's when you fear, but you still act rationally, and you don't let fear control you.
Yeah,
this is what really brave people.
What I'm saying. I work really hard because, like I said, the mind's a powerful weapon. It can either work for you or against you. Yeah, and that's try to tell people that your mind's gonna work for you or against you. Let it work for you. Don't let it work against you. And that's because once it works against you, you're gonna shut down. And that's where
you're gonna do stupid things, yes, and die fast, and because of you, people gonna die. That's true. I realized the power of mind there on the second floor when fire was on the first floor burning and the smoke coming up. I realized that one more minute I'm gonna die there. And this is my instinct, jumped inside me.
Yep.
I was like, like animal. I was ready to do everything to survive. And you're right, the mind is very powerful. I think we cannot control it. In some situations, it just go over us, and that's it.
Exactly.
It's very powerful.
It is. I know. But, I just keep saying thank you. Really, seriously, man. I've enjoyed this conversation. It's a loop, right? I'm gonna call you brother, like even though we're from a different country, but we chew the same ground. Like when it comes to war, so other soldiers, regardless of what country, I still consider you a brother. Does that make sense? Like you, I like to say we're baptized by fire. So in a way, it's like we may not have served together, but in a way, we understand each other. So we're baptized by fire. So I understand everything you've said. And I feel like I have a closer connection with you by listening to your story. It's amazing. It's, in my mind, man, you're a hero, but, don't take it like, what I mean is that you should feel proud for serving your country, right? So feel proud in that regard. For serving your country.
I feel more proud for those people with whom I served. They are really heroes. I'm not a hero. I was just put in this circumstance. I could not say no.
But I'm giving you respect. Yeah, I get. It's like the respect back is like, don't always be proud. Like I know the moments your mind's gonna, and I know, but always remember to be proud, man. Like you stepped up to the call, regardless of how you were there, why you were there, man. Always remember, man. I still answered the call, right? Regardless, it's something, and take that with you, brother. Seriously, always remember, like at least be proud, man. Like there's moments you're gonna be angry, you're gonna be upset. Trust me, I know, but don't forget. My little advice to you, man, just know that.
Thank you, Jared. Yeah, and I feel also feel easy. I feel like relief when I told told these stories because it's like inside me, then I let it go out. Yeah, and without alcohol, by the way. Maybe that's why people drink a lot, because they keep it inside, and alcohol let them get this all out of them.
Yeah.
I don't want to drink alcohol to let this out. I just want to talk with people who understands me, and it feels better. Yeah. So thank you. Thanks, Ricky, to organize this conversation.
Like I said, we can organize anytime you want to talk, man. You know, if you just want to talk, man, and nothing's recorded, we can do that too, man. Like to me, it doesn't matter, because there's a reason I'm doing this, and for me, I'm a spiritual man. I'm a man of God now, so that's just my route. And so there's a reason I'm doing this. There's a reason you and I are talking, and so I take that. It's part of the journey that I'm being put on, and listening to your story, I think it's part of my journey, and maybe it's also part of my own healing. I don't know, but we'll see. But it's,
Hey, Jared, how are we on time, by the way?
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, yeah, I gotta go like pretty soon.
Okay, but how much time is it? Like 5 minutes or 10 minutes left, or?
We can go another 10 minutes.
Okay,
so,
well, the reason why I say it, and that, even though it's an abrupt interruption, because I figured the last part probably shouldn't be recorded, the
right,
donation part and that. So I didn't want to interrupt, but then I knew I should jump in at some point in that.
Well, let's stop recording then. Yeah, and then we can close out. Yeah.
On the end of the cooking show today, we learned that there is many things like power banks. When you use a power bank in cooking, it doesn't explode. My bad.
We're gonna stop recording.
Okay.
There we go.
And that.